Am I ready to do a radio? I mean, I'm on the podcast.
I miss radio.
I do too.
Yeah.
I really do.
It's way more relaxed.
I wish we could just.
Because cameras all in your nose and shining lights on your mustaches, and it just makes it uncomfortable. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's hot as balls in here. Hot as walls. Speaking of walls, they got a new VP pick, vice president pick. Kamala Harris just picked a new vice presidential.
I've heard so many versions nominee. Of her name. It's like beyond.
Yeah, but I heard the little Indian lady call her what she was. Kamala. That's what they call it in Indian. If you eating some mixed grill over at the Indian restaurant, I like to shout out the Indian restaurant.
Wear that shirt today and sit in front of me?
I know. Wrong shirt, wrong time.
I can't focus.
Then look at the sky from which cometh your faith in heels. Okay. Listen, very important. Took the camera up, homie. Listen, guys, thank you so much. It is a Wednesday night. Edition of the Don Miller podcast with D'Amica Page. Listen, normally we're going to be here on Thursday night. Phil had to do something. So he's like, hey, man, I got to do something tomorrow night. It's date night. And they're going to go on a date. And, so I want to shout Phil out for letting us come in here, even though they turned the air off at 4:30. And it's cooking in there. There's hot as balls in here,
It's back. What are you talking about?
The air is back. I feel the breeze for real.
Oh, hey, check this out.
Go ahead.
Hold on. It's coming on the screen.
Okay, here we go. This is very important. Richie Balls. See, that's inappropriate, man. Thank you so much, man. Shout out to Richie Balls. Hey, listen, guys, for real, a lot to get to today. As you know, the motto of the show is listen, laugh, and learn. Our guest, my buddy.
The first time we've done it.
My buddy, our guest is Randy Ross. Randy Ross is a gigantic ass political operative. Back in 2016, 17, 18, he was the chair of Trump in Orange County, Florida. He is still heavily affiliated with the Trump campaign as we speak. He is running as we speak and endorsed by Don Dale Miller, for state committee man. Yes, he's my friend. Look, this is the dude I call when I want to know the scoop, and he calls me when he want to know the scoop, and I love this dude like he's my brother, man. I appreciate you, homie.
I appreciate you having
man.
me. Your studio is fabulous.
Thank you so much, man.
D'Amica is beautiful.
Yeah, we paying down on the studio. we paying down. You ever bought so much? My grandma say on time. We bought this on time. We just pay Phil every week. Hey, Phil, he'll get a little something. One thing about Phil, if you really know him and you like him a lot, shout out to Podcast Doctor, he'll let you pay him on time. You know what I mean? Pay him like, remember my grandma had a Sears and Roebuck account, and she just bought something and paid it on time. Hey, man, then as soon as you pay it off, hey, Randy, shout out to LaTanya Gibson-Bowman. Say, hey, Randy.
Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, really good conversation coming up today. Thank you so much again for joining us. You can follow us. Follow D'Amica at
D'Amica.page on all social media platforms.
How can they follow you, brother?
Randy Ross Orlando on all social media platforms.
Okay, and you can follow The Don Miller Show. Black ass Don Miller who don't know his daddy. Just Google black man who don't know his daddy.
Is that in your profile?
Yeah, you know they don't know my daddy. I'm trying to find him.
You don't know your daddy?
If he walked in here right now, I'd slap the shit out of him. I'm telling you right now. He told my mom, I'm going to run down to get a pack of Benson and Hedges when I was 5. I'm still looking for him. Again, that's a true story.
Is he being true?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true, but all I do know is you need to forgive.
I'm struggling with that.
Your
D'Amica
heart
met her father when she was 8 at Walmart.
How you know what age I was? I never told you.
Because your mama told me.
Oh, maybe she did.
Yeah, you was 8 years old.
I was a roundabout.
But you was in Walmart.
Yes, I was in Walmart.
And she ran into her daddy. Yeah, she had never met him.
No, I didn't run into him. He and my mom and my father were arguing.
In Walmart?
So I got a chance to witness them arguing.
I couldn't even see your mama.
Probably denying that he was
No, he was your daddy. He was definitely your daddy.
No, he always denied. He denied.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a relationship with him now?
No, he's dead. And no, I did not.
Damn, that was like dead.
Well, but I didn't know him, so I don't have any emotions to say he's dead. He's dead. But no, I never knew him. I only met him that one time, and he was arguing with my mother in Walmart. I could barely see past the clothes. That's how
You're
the little tall person I was. And then the second time I saw him was
in the casket.
At the funeral.
Yeah, in the casket.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, damn to him. Thank you so much again.
No, I don't know.
D'Amica forgave this dude.
Listen.
You forgave him. Because you're closer to Jesus.
Projecting.
You closer to Jesus than me.
Don't project your anger for your father on me.
Yeah,
I don't have that. I released that.
Okay.
I'm good.
Well,
I'm
you
good
walking
with my father.
because you walking in the
If
light.
my father saw me, if I saw him today, I'm good.
Really?
I'm here.
Okay, good.
So are you saying you wish I wasn't here?
No, I want you to be here.
Okay, so I'm here. He did enough just being a part of the process of me being here.
That's good.
Yeah.
Boy, the Lord has changed you for real.
And nobody knows how tall she is. I didn't realize she's taller than me.
Yeah, you're tall.
And no, she's really tall. She's like,
how tall are you?
I'm like 5'11".
Yeah.
She's like six.
tall.
You're like 6'3".
Almost 6'3". But we say it on the radio all the time.
we do.
I
You
think
know what,
people
though?
think
I
we're
had
lying.
no idea.
People think we're lying.
When I watch you two like that, I mean, this is different than what I see when I'm watching you guys.
Well, again, thank you so much. Got to get to a lot, of course. Bunch of stories broke this week. Some of them were overshadowed by others. Some are important or more important than others. But before I get into who Tim Walz is, I want to ask the question, right? They're still ringing the bell that this vice president is going to be the next president.
Yep.
I don't believe it. And I understand who is ringing the bells and how the polls look. I know who runs the networks. So they told us a bunch of other stuff that we shouldn't have bought into, but that's a whole nother story. But there's something interesting. When I watched how many people, and D'Amica, it ain't important, but you told me it wasn't important today, but it is important to me. And I'll tell you why it's important, because we live in a time of extreme contradiction. Can we agree on that?
I agree.
And all of these
Hypocrisy,
people who would talk about
contradiction,
Donald Trump grabbing the
narrative.
coochie and Donald Trump cheating on his wife and all of that, which a lot of people, and look, the whole moral conversation should be out the door. Let's be clear, right?
I agree.
Right.
With
Okay, because who among us ain't done something, right?
I agree.
And I ain't never grabbed nobody by the vagina. Okay, unless I was asked. Okay, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean. But I think it's amazing how people are morally upstanding when it benefits them. Right? Everybody attacked Donald Trump. One of the biggest points at Donald Trump is morality. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's immoral. He did this. He had whores.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
That's always the response.
That's the response. He had whores. He's a felon.
morally bankrupted.
Morally bankrupt. But then I read a story, not just a story, an acknowledgement of guilt that the vice president's husband ran up in the babysitter. What kind of ridiculous ass nonsense is this?
But he's not running for president.
Again.
And you
I
already
ain't talking about it. I ain't talking about him running for president.
But you already know the people that have the moral excellence
Yes.
compass that they're
Okay,
using
okay.
to evaluate
That's
who
what- yeah.
to choose for presidency.
Right.
Their response is going to be, well, he's not running.
Okay.
The husband is not running for president.
Okay.
That's what you can look at. You know that's what they'll say, Randy.
Okay.
All right.
That's the argument that they will make.
Okay. And that's a bullshit argument on the Don Miller Show. Let me tell you why. So she said she's a black woman, which again, we should get past that. Let's run past the race card real quick. I don't care about
Please,
that
very
anymore. I'm
quickly.
tired of the race card. The race card is a curveball.
I agree.
Because she definitely ain't black, though. Let's be clear. But it's a curveball. We're going to leave the race card out. But what black woman got her shit together, go marry a white dude that ran up in the babysitter? Marry any dude unless low level in the hood. That happens in the hood all the time. But what black woman?
Does it really?
Oh, hell yeah. Everybody has sex
I
with the
thought the
babysitter.
hood chick be is
But he gonna get his
the
ass
one
whooped.
that would
He gonna get his
cut.
ass whooped. He gonna get his
Okay.
ass
Oh,
whooped.
okay,
So he's
okay.
definitely gonna get his ass whooped. But what black woman excellence, black girl magic, and all that nonsense, marry a dude who ran up in the babysitter? Raw dog. Can I say raw dog the babysitter?
Oh God.
No.
Yeah, but I think you're kind of missing out that they're gonna gloss over that.
No, Don Miller ain't.
I know, and that's why I'm happy to be here tonight.
Oh, thank you for joining us.
But I don't. I think they are glossing over a lot of those indiscretions, and they're focusing still on Trump.
Then leave Trumps alone. That's all I'm saying.
But why do we even have to? She slept with somebody's husband.
Bam! So there's no
She slept with
there's no
somebody's
moral
husband.
compass in that whole relationship. And to the Negroes who march in the darkness, I want to repeat that real slow so they can hear me because I think they're gonna scratch my car with a key. Don't touch the Buick. Don't touch that Buick. Anyway,
It's not
listen.
a Buick. I saw it.
But let me just say this, right? To the Negroes who march in the darkness, if we're going to have a moral compass conversation, then I think this should go out of the political conversation immediately.
I agree.
Okay?
I don't think it should even be a part of the political discourse.
I don't want to hear nobody call Donald Trump a what is the word they're using now? Sexist. You know, everybody got that little memo, and they don't understand. I got the memos too. Okay, I'm gonna share the memos. They don't even know I get the same memos. See what happens when you give them money? They send you the memos, right? Am I bullshitting, man? They send you the memos, right?
3 times a day.
Am I right? So anybody who want to have a sexist conversation about Donald Trump being a sexist, let's be clear. Can we be clear tonight? If he's a sexist,
then she's an adulterer.
And the husband is what?
A philanderer? I don't know. What would he be called?
He went up in the babysitter raw dog.
Well, yeah.
But don't you think it's important just to let all that go and focus on the issues?
But who got to let it go first?
The ones that
nobody's going to let it go first.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
But it's the people who are against Trump that have this moral excellence, standard that they're using to evaluate the candidates.
Yeah, I think we need to let it all go. I think we got to let it all go. I don't want to hear nobody's personal business down the stretch. Can we do this? To everybody who let it go. To the black people who've been sucked into this nonsense, who go see these sissy-ass preachers in these platforms on Sunday. I said sissy. Okay?
It's all right. I don't care.
I know you don't because you're my friend, right? But they go sit in front of pastors who are down low homosexuals, and they know they're down low It's about 4,000 people.
There's a lot of them.
I know. It's about 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 9,000 people go to a church in Texas with a pastor who went to a Diddy party and told us he went to the Diddy party. Phil, he was at the Diddy party. Ain't nobody said we need to stop going here because he went to a Diddy party. Let me explain something. Me and Holly Holloman one night went to a party that was getting ready to turn into a Diddy party. We told the story on the air. Guess what we did, Tamika?
Left.
We left. This is getting ready to be a Diddy party, okay?
Exit stage
The
left.
fact is, take the moral conversation out of this for the rest of the stretch.
I agree.
Let's talk about policy.
Exactly.
And if we stay on policy, America is getting ready to see the curveball bullshit that has been placed upon us. Yes or no?
Absolutely.
I would love to hear Vice President Harris talk about policy.
She's not going to do a very good job with that.
Why?
Because that's not something that she's been very good at so far. I think
Talking about it or doing it?
Both. She hasn't really done much at the border, even though she said she was the border czar.
She said it.
She said it, and I think that what we're going to see here. Let's let the shininess wear off. Let's let
it's
the
gonna
newness.
wear off.
I would have honestly. I'm surprised they didn't do this a year ago when they had a full year to run into a campaign. To do it so quickly and to have now Republicans for Kamala, you've got white men for Republicans.
Let me tell you how ridiculous white guys is. It white guys or white dudes?
White dudes.
Well, first of all, I got a lot of white friends. If they call themselves a dude, you're not my friend again. So what's a white dude anymore? A white dude was the summer of '56, right? Had a Buick, okay, hanging out at the
my uncles.
Yeah, your uncles were white dudes, okay. So now they're desperately trying so hard, to create a narrative from a platform that just showed up out of nowhere. Let's be clear. Do this a year ago, you might get some footing. All of a sudden, Joe gets exposed on a debate stage.
That's right.
They knew this.
Absolutely.
They knew exactly what there's no way that much planning went into all of these coalition groups without a plan once he failed. Mm-hmm. There's no way.
Brandy, you and I have been in this a long time.
Yeah.
They have plans and plans and plans for that plan.
That's right.
So the point is, all of a sudden, Joe shows America that he's not well. Now, how long we've been saying Joe is not well?
From the
years
campaign of the,
last
campaign.
So we've been saying Joe's not well, a long time.
Right.
So we see he's not well. They panic because they didn't have a plan.
They didn't have a plan.
And then they say 250 plus million is on the table that only the vice president can get.
Right.
We can't afford to lose 250 million because you got major donors like John Morgan at Morgan & Morgan saying, play with me if you want to. I'm keeping my money. John Morgan's the vocal one. He ain't the only one.
And he went out.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone.
See, and I think people are like, well, nobody cares about John Morgan and his couple of million, 5, 6. Who cares about John Morgan? John's the vocal one. He ain't the only one. Please understand.
Mark Nee James is getting ready to host a fundraiser.
Okay, Mark
for
Nee James, let's be clear. Come on, don't do me like that. Because, you know, I'm trying to be nice. I like Mark and Josie. Please don't do me like that.
I like Mark.
Yeah, but the point is, you can't say Morgan and Nee James in the same conversation. Okay?
Well, one's out and one is hosting a fundraiser.
No, one's out, one's got that real paper, and one's... Anyway, so let me just say this real quick. They've lost major donors. Morgan is the vocal one.
Yes.
There are other people who felt very uncomfortable that you talk about a threat to democracy, yet you undercut democracy.
Right.
You closed the primary, didn't allow other people to get in.
Right.
Then you remove a sitting president from his campaign and insert someone who didn't get one of the 14 million votes.
Right.
Correct? Mm-hmm. And now you want to talk about threat to democracy. You notice that's gone now. Can't do that.
Yeah, but you got to go back to 2020 when she got out almost first, right?
Yes, she was in the bottom tier.
She was in the bottom tier.
She was flying frontier across the country.
And he wasn't far behind her, Joe Biden. And they go into New Hampshire, and I think they still lost. And then it was when he went to South Carolina or North Carolina.
That's when the tables turned.
That's when the tables
No,
turned.
that's because country Bama ass, coon ass Jim Clyburn put him on his back.
Yep.
Can we talk about this? Jim Clyburn carried this dude to where he is today. And he's still carrying his water, talking about nothing to see here. He has a stuttering problem. Jim, sit your ass down. It's time for him to go too, right? And you got to know the history of Jim Clyburn. Jim Clyburn is the first black person for over 157 years to represent South Carolina in D.C. Guess how other many black people done it? Not one. So Jim ain't even put nobody on. So Jim, it's time for Jim to go. But we're going to get to that in another conversation. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. So you carry this guy in.
I like that. And I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I'm going to borrow that.
You can borrow that. That's a T-shirt, $29.99. But so when you look at this, what's happening here? So all of a sudden, she is the presumptive nominee. They run to the microphones all over the country and say, we got enough delegates. She is the nominee. And that's fine, because I understand the circumvention of democracy a little bit. Was that circumventing democracy?
Absolutely.
Okay, watch this. Not just was it circumventing democracy, it was pulling your pants down, telling everybody to kiss your ass, because 19 days later, she has taken no questions. When was the last time a presumptive nominee, 19 days in, had not had a sit-down interview with some network? Never. It's never happened.
Maybe instead of being in the basement like Biden was, she's in the attic.
Biden did more interviews as the nominee than she has.
Yeah.
Go look. My question is, what is this really about? Then the trajectory that we're watching on these networks. Oh, she's up, she's in now, she's tied up. And in 19 days, she done went from nowhere. She done went from a meme on Instagram to winning a presidential election. Let me just say this. If you believe that, I got some green weed with some purple spots on it.
So, okay. So
To
here's,
sell you.
So Don, everybody can't be on here to agree with you. I hear what you're saying.
I ain't telling nobody to agree with me.
I hear what you're saying, but the argument can be made that if you're saying we can't believe the media regarding Kamala, then why could we have believed the media when they were saying Trump was up?
Okay, let me.
Because at that point,
when was that? I've not heard that too many times.
No, you haven't. They say Trump was tied with Biden.
They said Trump was behind
Biden.
Hillary.
There were a couple of places where he was up. I mean, not drastically, but there were a couple of places where he was up, and they were saying.
Okay, now watch this, guys. I want everybody to get in their car tomorrow. Do this for the Don Miller Show and text me. Drop me a note. Drive around the neighborhood, and I want you to take a picture of every Biden yard sign you see.
I haven't seen any.
Have you?
No, I haven't.
Phil, you seen any?
Nope.
There's none. I was driving. Holly Holloman lives in a very nice black neighborhood in Atlanta. What did he say he see every day? Trump signs in the black neighborhood. My buddy lives in a really nice neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. He's like, dude, look at this. He's sending me pictures in Chatham of Trump signs in black neighborhoods. So let me just say this ain't about supporting any candidate. Let me tell you what it's about. I'm so tired of this goddamn buffoonery. and coonery that these Negroes have embraced. I'm going somewhere. Stay with me, D'Amica. D'Amica got that look on her face like, I can't believe you. Let me just say this. I have come to the conclusion, listen to me, Randy, you've been in this a long time. D'Amica, you have been in this, and you know how long I've been in. Randy, you know how long I've been in.
A long
People
time.
think radio my job. It's not my job, guys. Let me tell you this real quick. I don't think they want to win. I have come to the conclusion that the Democrats are not serious about winning. They don't want to inherit this economy, but they have to put a show up. This is why they have decided not to expend any political capital or any rising star in this race. Now, let me just say why I come to this conclusion, because I've been taxing some congressmen in the last few days. D'Amica, I'm going to give you my phone. I want you to look at this congressman and what he said to me. And let me just say this, guys. And I want you to pass this to Randy. I want Randy to look what this congressman said to me. I don't think they're serious, guys, about winning. And I'm going to tell you why I say this. D'Amica, I want you to grab that. Okay? And let me just say why I say this, Randy. Picking Kelly or Shapiro makes even her in a real race.
Strategic.
Correct?
Yes.
Picking the guy from Minnesota who has spoke heavily on defunding the police, okay? Who has created a safe haven for children who want to, the whole gender transformation for children.
Which I don't agree with.
Okay. All right. Absolutely. Okay. And he has created a safe haven for this. He has created an environment. I want to play this clip. Driver's license for all. Let me just say this, right? Not only has Minnesota become a safe haven for ridiculous immorality. Can I say this, guys? Because my friends in the LGBT community, and I got some real friends in the LGBT, you know I do.
You do.
They don't want this for no 12-year-old to be putting on no damn dress.
No.
They don't want children in third grade reading this nonsense.
They don't.
This dude has engaged in this at a level. He put tampons, Tim Walz, in boys' bathrooms, Randy. Am I making this up?
Nope. That's why they call him Tampon Tim.
He
Tampon
signed
Tim.
legislation to put tampons in boys' bathrooms. Correct?
It's true.
Secondly, there is a video of him signing this legislation, this gender-affirming legislation, with a 12-year-old child in a dress. Look.
I don't even know how we got here to this stage.
I know.
I mean, I really don't, though. I think 2020 and the pandemic gave us time to start reconfiguring identities. Mm-hmm. But, growing up, I mean, I never really ever expected that we'd be in a position where children would be able to decide with their parents who, if they were male or female.
Okay.
It's
you mind if I say something?
Sure.
You're gay.
Yes, I am.
Right?
Yep.
I love you. You know that.
I know
We're
that.
friends, right?
Yeah, yes, we are.
And I'm fine. I have a lot of friends in the LGBT community. Many of them are more sensitive than others. Mm-hmm. And y'all can go on. If you're sensitive or you're in your feelings, you can't be friends with me because I say crazy stuff about everybody, right?
Yes.
Okay? At what point is it not okay? When you're 18 or 17 or you're coming into your own, fine, have that conversation with your child. But not at 7 and 8 and 9.
No.
It ain't right, Randy.
I remember when I was 10, my parents took us to see Jaws, and the next day they told us they were getting a divorce. That was the most, I can barely remember that. Yeah. How can I remember the concept of trying to identify with who I was? Now, I can tell you that I always felt that I was gay. Mm-hmm. I didn't come out till I was 36 years old, if you can believe that.
Because you couldn't come out.
I couldn't.
Right.
I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Right, you stay your ass in there. Right.
But I will also tell you that somehow it's become normalized. Somehow it's become so comfortable. Some of the wonderful things that I enjoy. Ain't nothing better than a great drag show. I don't care who goes to see one. I'm gonna take Don one.
But
these
for
days.
No, you.
For an
I've been
adult-
in a drag show.
for adults. For
Right.
adults.
For adults, not for
And
kids.
not for children. And when they do the gay pride parades, and you see the kids on the sideline, you're just basically grooming them to be part of this
Exactly.
process.
Absolutely,
and that
Randy.
is just not fair to the child.
Right.
I think what's not fair is that the Democratic Party is pushing this narrative so much that it makes it seem like everybody in that community is in agreement with the narrative. And I think that's really unfair. And it creates more division and tension with people like you that we have a lot in common with. And we agree with most. I don't know a policy that we've ever discussed that we were in agreement with. Even when it comes to some of the cultural things, most of the time we're in agreement.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I really think it's unfair that the Democratic Party get to push this narrative on the people, creating this idea that this is what the whole community believes. And I don't like it at all.
I blame the LGBT community. I'm going to be
I
straight.
agree with
okay,
that.
the
I agree with that.
LGBT community have become some soft ass bitches because the all my friends in that I know, they looking at this like, oh hell no. Am I right?
Right.
But nobody wants to
Speaking
say
up.
anything.
Yeah.
You know why? Because when I came out in 2002, the transgender community was really isolated from the process. The flag was the rainbow flag, and that was it. And then all of a sudden, it started including the African American community within that flag, and they started bringing in the Puerto Rican process with the brown part of the flag and all the transgender. Before you knew it, the flag had so many colors on it.
Yeah, right.
And it was like
psychedelic flag.
And I've said this on your show before. I could get 10 people in here right now that are LGBTQ, and I could say, right now, let's go march for transgender rights, right? And go with me. And I'd be lucky if one of those people would walk out of the room with me because they still don't understand it. But for the Equality Florida, for the HRC, for these organizations, this is a fundraising tool for them. For the Democratic Party, this is a fundraising tool for them. And that is why they utilize it. So if I were, I look at it and I get kind of insulted that they want to try to raise money off of the fact that I look at you and I can see your color.
Dude, just me and you, dog.
It does not mean that I think that we all are going to agree on everything, and I don't think that we're racist because of it. I just don't understand why we all cannot find a way to focus on what real people want to. And when I say real people, I'm talking about moms, dads, kids that are at the kitchen table. How are we going to afford lunch tomorrow?
Right.
Where are we going to go to the movies and soccer practice and got to afford a babysitter and gas alone. It's crazy.
And I'm so glad you said that, Randy, because quite frankly, I'm trying to figure out why would one of her first commercials, of all of those things you just talked about, why would one of her first commercials be with RuPaul and the drag queen drag racing event, as if everybody is not concerned about economy?
I guarantee you, RuPaul's concerned about the economy. He makes a lot of
RuPaul,
fortune. The reason she did that is because they wanted to capitalize on the fundraising opportunity that comes when the gay community thinks
it's co-opting. It's all co-opting.
Absolutely.
They do black people like that all damn time. Hey, we got to get the blacks. Okay, we got to get the blacks.
Got to do it.
And so you go get Tim Walz. This is the basis of who Tim Walz is, right? And I hear that term socialist, and I keep hearing those terms, right?
Right.
This guy is frightening. And I don't know if y'all know this. If you go listen to this guy, see, everybody's like, oh, well, no. And the problem is, most of these people thumbs it up, and you ain't even know who this guy is, right? Tim Walz, as in balls, okay, is like scary to me. And I've been around politics my whole life, both sides, okay? This guy's scary. This guy, the legislative action that he has put his signature on as the governor and the congressman. Go look at his congressional voting record, okay? He went to Congress after being a school teacher and a quasi military gentleman. But look at what he has touched And I think it's amazing how many people allow our history to be a mystery. I can't take my black ass out there and sign an application, but they're like, we're going to check you out. Is there anything you need to tell us today, Mr. Miller? No, I ain't got nothing to tell y'all. I just want the job. You know what I mean? But it's amazing how we let these people and allow their history not to come with them. Tim Walz is scary.
I will tell you that I've been to, as I've shared on this show before, over 100 rallies. I went to Minneapolis, Minnesota a few years back for a rally. I've never been afraid at any of them. I've even, sadly, the attempted assassination of our president, never would I've ever thought that would happen. But I was in Minneapolis and I was walking out, and the mayor of Minneapolis, under the direction of the governor, had lowered all the lights to a dim.
Absolutely.
So imagine if you're walking in, a rainy night in downtown Minneapolis, coming out of their major stadium. They had bonfires lit in the streets. It was something out of a movie. And I remember getting out of there and saying, I don't ever want to come back to Minneapolis again.
So this is a good point. You made an excellent point. We have a wonderful friend who's a pastor in Minneapolis that has joined us on the show on many occasions. But I have a lot of other friends in Minnesota. And I'm going to tell you, I think Minnesota is a creepy ass state. I think it's a creepy state. And I'll tell you why I think it's a creepy state. George Floyd, dead on the sidewalk, on the street, cops knee on him, whatever he had in his system, right? I don't like to go away from the fact of the matter that the cops should not have had his knee on his neck as long as he did. Let's be clear, right? We knew George Floyd was not a hero. George was a victim at that moment, okay? He definitely wasn't a hero in his life, and he was a victim in that moment.
I agree.
But does anybody understand why that cop was still a cop and that his name had gone before the state attorney in Hennepin County multiple times, and he had never had any action taken on his behavior? Who was the state attorney in Hennepin County, Minnesota? Who was it? It was the lady that's name was on the short list for president of the United States, Amy Klobuchar. And she was still in the race, and she was absolutely the reason why this cop was out there on the street, because they never prosecuted this guy. It was a broken system led by a lady that these Negroes was running up behind. Y'all need to read. Amy Klobuchar is a piece of shit. And she was a piece of shit when she was the state attorney, when she looked away from this cop and the 9 or 10 infractions that he had on him. So now all of a sudden she wants to be president, and everybody's like, nothing to see here. If we allow our history to be a mystery, if we allow the history of those who seek our vote to be a mystery, then shame on us. The average American gets a background check if you go work at Wawa. But no background check for Senate, no background check for Congress, no background check for President of the United States. I'm calling bullshit. This guy's history is really anti everybody that's holding his balls right now. He is engaged in behavior and legislation that is detrimental to America. Now, let me just say this, guys, real quick before I turn the corner on this. Minnesota has the lowest incarceration rate of any major state in this country. They don't even put people in jail no more. I want to play a clip of his wife. And there you go, but she ain't running for president. I don't know if you ever had to lay in the bed with somebody who make decisions. See, that's what people don't understand, okay? That person ain't running. You ever slept with somebody who had to make decisions? See, the problem is people been sleeping with low-level people, man. Once you slip up and sleep with somebody who's making decisions, you be like, oh, yeah, that's important. Pillow talk has changed the tide in this country. Tell me if I'm making that up.
Yeah.
If you go to bed with somebody every night who's making decisions, it ain't like your name dropping. But I'm telling you right now, pillow talk is real. Play the clip of his wife and how she feels about criminals, please, man.
And having a chance every day. Like, how many chances do you get? My answer to that is as many chances as you need, which doesn't really please those law and order people.
Stop it. Many chances you need. I'm going to speak on behalf of the poor black people from the neighborhood I come from, and the rich whites of the neighborhood I come from, and the middle class whites of the neighborhood I come from, and everybody. No, you can't get all the chances you need. I'm calling bullshit again on that. Ring that bell, man, if you got that bell. This is important that we know who this guy is. That's who he go to bed with. Right?
She probably influences him greatly.
Then there's another clip of her sitting in the yard doing an interview. Can you play this for us, please?
I would say those first days, when there were riots, I could smell the burning tires. And that was a very real thing. And I kept the windows open for as long as I could because I felt like that was such a touchstone of what was happening.
What a creepy thing.
She's a weirdo. This is your guy now. This is the guy. This is number 2. Go ahead, D'Amica. I see the look on your face. Well, she ain't running for president.
No, she's not running for president. But here's my point. Here's the thing, and I say this all the time because I sit and I talk to people a lot in the community. And no matter how you articulate policies that these people are engaging in that's detrimental to the community, it's detrimental to family.
Okay.
They will blatantly say, but I don't care.
Hey, wait. Shout out to John Dallas, who just sent me a message. He said, fix your shirt. It's open on the button, showing your skin.
You have no
That's
idea.
your friend.
That's been happening for a few of
You
us.
have no idea.
Hey,
I
John.
didn't say that, but I know D'Amica did.
Hey, JD, D'Amica said it before we went on the air,
I've
man.
been real good. I try to be good because we're on the podcast
Yeah,
thing,
I
but if
know.
we were on radio, oh my goodness,
she'd have
I
been
would have
killing
been
me.
ripping you.
Thank you so much. Hey, shout out to John Dallas. We love John. John's a great
We're going to have
friend.
to get you some big shirts.
You know John?
I do know
Yeah,
John.
John.
Yes, I do.
I don't know
Yeah,
why
John's
you
the
wear
mayor-
these
mayor
shirts
of
with a
Edgewood.
He's the mayor of beautiful
Edgewood.
Edgewood. I want to move to Edgewood, but they got enough blacks. They got 6 families now. They got 6 families. He's like, nah, we got 6 families. When somebody move, we'll get a spot for you. But shout out to John
You
Dallas.
are crazy.
John's been my friend a long time. Hey, shout out to brother D'Alessandro. Put that back up, man. Thank you so much. Shout out to John D'Alessandro. John, I can't run for student council, man. Go on with that nonsense. But think about
Have
what
you ever ran for office?
you know I can't run for no damn office.
Why not?
Dude.
I mean, have you ever considered
No.
it? No.
No. What did PJ say? What did PJ say to me?
And until something bad, absolutely, and until something bad happens to her and her family, then she would sing a different.
yeah,
tune.
but
it's I'm glad you said that, PJ, because when you listen to that, when you listen to her speak, you can tell she's never been in a crime infested community.
No.
You know what I mean? She's living high and doing her thing. But if you had to come up in the hood, you know what I mean? Where you
Who wants to?
Oh, that wasn't John Dallas.
Who,
That was geez, I don't know if that was John Dallas.
who wants to have their windows open smelling burning tires?
Oh, that wasn't JD. That was the other JD.
it's demonic.
That was not John Dallas.
She had
That
her
was
window-
John Davis, our beautiful friends
She-
of mine. I love you, JD, man. Sorry about that.
She
John
had
Dallas
her-
He
just
said the
texted
same
too.
thing about your shirt.
They
so
sure
obviously-
did, man. Thank you, JD.
She had her window open.
John Davis is our secretary of the Florida Lottery.
Oh,
yeah. Thank you so
right.
much. Yeah, absolutely. So go ahead, D'Amica.
Yeah, no, she had her window open.
I think that's-
smelling
I don't know. People, I got so many numbers.
smelling burnt tire, and you know,
was turning
taking
her
it
on.
because it's demonic. I'm just gonna call it
burning
what it
rubber.
It
is.
doesn't make any sense.
It's
I think
demonic.
you'd want to do the opposite. You'd want to close your windows, I think, and not have that smell.
You ever
in
smell
your house.
burnt tires?
Yeah, I have.
When have you ever seen demonic activity make sense?
So what do you mean
These
demonic?
these are the things that have to
It's
come
evil.
out though before we can actually start really
It's-
assessing this.
It's evil.
This,
That's
this,
what
this,
I mean.
This ticket.
It's an evil spirit.
But again, I think what's going to happen in the next few days.
It's an evil spirit to see people literally tearing down the community,
I agree.
busting into businesses. And then you somehow get something out of that, like
And
he
that's
was the
very-
governor
And I
of
saw
a state that allowed that to happen.
With no National Guard call up?
Who does that?
No, let me just say this, guys. So you want to know who this guy is. he was probably, and I want to say this, and I want you to think about this before you say something. This guy probably was the last guy on the list to get picked. Would you agree?
I would say he wasn't in the top 2.
He wasn't in the top 4.
Yeah.
Because remember now, 2 people dropped out, and it was Kelly Shapiro and this guy. And everybody was stunned when it was this guy.
Well, Shapiro wasn't obvious for me because I don't think they could have agreed on Israel and Hamas and everything.
Absolutely.
That was,
Right.
So that was,
while
he might have been a great pick,
but
she wasn't going to pick him.
But again, they were concerned that the Palestinians were coming
Right.
to Chicago.
Yes.
And I want to let them know the Palestinians still coming to Chicago. They're going to be from Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah.
They're going to drive that 3-4 hours over there. They'll be over there.
What was
Okay,
that
let's
comment?
play that clip again, that comment that came up.
Oh.
Okay. Let me. You're beating Jay Will in the. Hey, yes, that's good, John. Let me just say this. You know who Jay Will is? Jason.
Oh.
Yeah. Right.
You beat Jay Will in
It's
something?
a long time ago. John remembers that. Jay Will is one of the greatest basketball handlers in the history of America. John and I, you know Jay Will. Anyway, let me just say this. I did once. Let me just say this. This guy's dangerous. But I don't think he is. I think that this is a guy who's left of left, who represents a state. If you look at the state and how the state has gone,
Yes.
it's not going to make a big difference in the scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is not about winning as much as it's about presenting the narrative. You ever been in a situation where you know you ain't going to win, but I'm going to get my shit out there?
Yes. Many.
I'm going to get my shit. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I know I ain't going to win, but y'all going to hear everything I believe in. And I got some money too. Everything I believe in, every narrative I stand on. You ever think about this?
But to what point, though?
Think about this. You telling
To
me
what point?
when you look at
To what end?
when you look at the list of people that were on her list, we are in a heightened scenario with Israel.
Sure.
Shapiro would have been a good look,
It would have been a good look.
but it would have been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly's like, I'm going back over here. We are in a situation where she picks, and there, you know, it's amazing. One of my friends texted me, and I'm going to read this text. Text me today. This guy has been a state senator in a state for about 12 years. Why did she pick that really old guy? First of all,
He's only 60.
he just look old.
He just look old.
Right.
I'll be 59 this
He's my
year.
age.
He's our age.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they're like, no, he ain't that old.
I think he's been hitting a bottle or something.
Yes.
He needs some Botox or something.
Some, right? The problem is, if you're really trying to win, you don't. But again, and I want black people to know, nobody care about your vote. Your vote, you're going to vote a certain way. Once you commit your vote historically, ain't nobody care. She gonna bring Cardi B. Was that Cardi B?
No.
That wasn't
That-
Cardi
That
B.
was
It
Megan
That's
Thee
Megan Thee
Stallion.
Stallion.
Megan Thee
Twerking.
Stallion at the dancers.
That's how.
Yeah,
That's,
but people
that's how.
left
yeah.
after she performed.
Yeah.
You know,
That's how much they
I don't
respect
agree
your
with
vote.
you about that.
What?
I think that black people do care
No, they
about
don't.
voting.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Well, you know, I hope they do. I
No,
want
they
them
don't.
to.
Black
I
people
really
will vote
want
for
them
a
to.
black Buick, okay? Black people, you put a black Buick running for
They'll
state
vote for it.
representative.
They absolutely.
They will vote
do.
for the black
I'm
Buick.
telling you, Randy, it's very sad. The conversations I've had, it's very
Yeah,
sad.
it's pretty
Is
terrible.
it because they just don't want to, or they don't feel their vote is valued, or what is it?
Ignorant.
Ignorant. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a ignorant. It's just they're so. I've never seen a stronghold like that. When I say a stronghold, something that they're locked into it, and no matter what you say, no matter what type of rationale you have for them, they're so locked in. It doesn't even matter.
See, this is an argument I have with the Republican Party locally on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
Is why do we not bring more black people into the process?
Right.
And you're basically telling me that even if we try,
Y'all ain't never invited me, and I'm the loudest black Republican in the state of Florida.
well, you're very loud.
Okay, huh?
You are
Do they
loud.
know me over there?
Absolutely,
Okay,
they do.
all right, good, because they don't never invite me to nothing.
How
Well, you know why?
Yeah.
Because you got too much to say.
Okay, good.
They They just want you to come sit
They
in
want
the
a
room.
sub. They want a sub.
And look around the room and see that it has a.
They want a sub. They want a sub.
They do.
Okay.
They do.
A sub.
That is not what I
Yeah, ain't gonna be your sub.
That's not what I want.
No, I know that ain't what you want.
I would love to see more folks engaged in the black and brown community, but it seems almost
So like your county tax collector,
yeah.
he's a sub. You can't say this, but I'm gonna say this. He's
Scott
a sub.
Randolph?
No, the tax collector. The supervisor of elections.
Oh, you're talking about
Glenn.
Glenn.
Glenn's a sub.
Yeah, but Glenn didn't want to. He didn't want the job. His
But
wife didn't want him to run for
Brother
it.
Ken, let me just say something.
Yeah.
Then don't do it. Okay? See, let me just say something about being in this box. You still got to be a man on it. Okay?
Yeah, but you know what? He got appointed by the governor.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to get to an appointment?
You don't actually, it ain't that hard.
It's harder than getting elected.
Yeah, but guess what? You ain't got to be a sub.
Yeah.
Okay? I like to kiss. Let me tell you about being a sub. Okay?
Okay, then.
Huh? You ain't got to kiss a
I don't
sub.
even know what that means.
I don't either. Like,
That's a whole nother level. I know y'all ain't been in them parties I used to go to. I used to go to them parties back in the day.
No,
but the
no,
point
let's go back to that for just
Yeah,
a
let's
second.
talk about this.
Because I actually like Glenn.
I like him a lot.
The problem was, I think that a Republican can't win in a partisan race in Orange County. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of that, who necessarily puts himself in a losing situation? And I think more importantly, you had Karen Castor-Dental, who was raising all this money. You had Wes Hodge. You had all the
Who's
Democrats.
a clown? Wes Hodge is a clown. I'm going to say that right now. On the
I'm
Don
just
Miller
talking
Show.
about you had a lot more presence in that space. And I think Glenn looked at the whole. First of all, I will also tell you that it's. I mean, I'm not saying this as personal knowledge. I'm just saying that they ask you during the process, they don't really want you to run. See, Andrew Bain's a unique situation where he's actually running as an appointee. They don't really always want you to run. They kind of look at your
fill in
political
the spot and then keep it moving.
keep it moving. And so what I'm
That's good. That's good. I'm gonna put- that's a shirt.
What I'm a little concerned about right now is this concept that we think that Andrew Bain has a chance. And I held a fundraiser for him.
You sure did. And you invited me and got
I
mad
did.
when I ain't come.
I did get mad.
That was a long ass
And
wave.
he is a good guy.
I know Drew.
He's a good guy.
I know
and
Andrew. I gotta call him. I gotta call him State Attorney Andrew.
He'd be a great.
And I love his wife Andrea.
Andrea.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely. But we're in an uphill battle in that
But
race.
let me just say this. This is really important. I say this, right? So when you look at the American structure and you think about this lady who's running for president, in 19 days in, she has not had a press conference, has not had a sit-down interview with even a friendly.
Why does that bother you so
Let me
much?
tell you why it bothers me. Anything that breaks precedent bothers me in a crisis time. If America was great, the economy was rolling, I ain't got to see her. But we in a crisis. We got 2 wars. We got 2. The market's in the shitter. Yes or no? Tell me when I say something wrong, because I don't want y'all to be like Don, just making that up as you go.
'cause I'll tell you if
So we
you're
got
wrong.
2 wars.
Yeah.
The economy's in the shitter. People are nervous and panicked. People have just taken a heavy hit on their 401k 2 days ago,
Huge.
right? And nobody's coming to the conversation. You want my vote? I need you to tell me something. Say something. Look, listen to me. I used to have this thing. I used to say it was inappropriate as hell.
Like most of the things you
I'm
say.
shocked.
If you gonna screw me,
Oh, boy.
kiss me first. You know what I'm saying, Phil? If you gonna screw me, kiss me first, right? All I'm saying is, can we hear something? Is it okay to not say a word to the American
But isn't
people?
that what Biden did? He went in the basement
Again,
during the 2020
no, listen,
process.
I know, but how? At what point is it not okay?
I don't know who's going to call him out on it.
Yeah.
They're setting somebody up for the perfect interview. She had the debate, the preview in Philadelphia. We now know that they can sit and raise their hands and get excited. Listen, I don't demean any party. I really
I agree.
don't. I don't get mad at Democrats and I don't get mad at Republicans or independents. I can evaluate and assess what I think about some of those things. I think her choice was a bad choice, but for
I think most
Republicans,
people-
I think it was a great choice.
It was a great choice for
what?
Republicans.
Oh,
But I think that's why they made it. I think that choice was made for
So
Republicans.
You want them to? They want to fail?
I don't think. Listen, we're watching this lady on TV every time a mic comes on.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell you one person that's not delusional or really high. No, that would say this lady's brilliant.
Nobody's going to say
Okay.
that.
Republican or Democrat, stay with me. Barack Obama, we all said, damn, that dude's sharp. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yep.
We always like, man, that dude's smooth. He's sharp. He's on it. He's quick. Yes or no?
Yes.
It's true.
Okay. Republican or Democrat, like her or not, I don't know anybody who's not delusional or really high. That said, this lady is amazing.
Because they've kind of created this Mrs. Doubtfire character. They've created her out of...
Oh,
they-
damn.
they brought
That's
her-
pretty terrible, but you're right.
They brought her out of nowhere, and all of a sudden now we're supposed to believe she can walk on water and part the seas. And I think that's going to be difficult for, Republicans are going to vote Republicans, Democrats are going to vote Democrat, but it's the MPAs that we have to really pay attention to.
Let's really quickly turn to that.
I agree.
I don't think this ticket, putting Tim Walz with his really way out there mindset, is going to draw NPAs or independents.
Are they going to sit home, or are they going to go vote for somebody?
I think we're going to see the largest couch sitting
I agree with that too.
political season. I sit down with really smart guys who say, I'm just done. I'm out.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot of people.
Low turnout.
But really quickly, we're going to go over a few minutes. Please stay with me, bro, because I got to hit this, man. Black people go to church more than anybody. We are.
According to Pew Research,
We
we are the most religious subgroup in the United States.
And they
of
have
America.
a lot of fun at church. I've
Yeah,
been to many
I know.
black
You've
churches.
been to a bunch of black
I
churches,
love going
yeah.
to black churches.
okay. But it's amazing.
And the most biblically illiterate.
Oh, they don't know nothing about the Bible.
The
man.
most religious.
Yeah, they don't know nothing
It's about
about
the most
for me,
biblically
it's the singing,
illiterate.
and the singing and the energy.
Yeah,
That's
the energy. But
That's
yeah.
called entertainment.
Yeah, that's why. Look, no, that's called entertainment. But let me tell you, I would not miss a Sunday if I could have a drink of what I'm drinking right now.
Which is water.
Oh my gosh.
I ain't drinking no water. If I could go to church and have a drink, because when I drink, I'm more open to the conversation.
Most people
But when
are.
I'm sitting in a room full
Don't
of
know what he's
people,
saying, Jesus. Forgive him.
say that again.
Forgive him, Jesus.
She's praising. She's praying for you, I think.
But when I'm sitting in a room of people who are truly biblically illiterate, led oftentimes by a pastor that is what?
Biblically illiterate.
Okay? And I'm looking at these people who are more emotional than what?
Informational.
They're just sitting there, they're screaming, they're jumping up and down, they're running down the aisles, and you ask them 30 minutes after they leave when they're at Golden Corral, what he preach about? Shout out to my good friends, Eric and the Holmes family who own Golden Corral. I love Eric and his wife. They're my good friends. 30 minutes after you leave church, go to Golden Corral in any neighborhood with a bunch of church people. Say, what pastor preach about? I don't know, but the Spirit came.
And you can tell they didn't learn anything because they don't tip and waitresses don't like the way.
Shout out to Eric and Diane Holmes, my good friends, Golden Corral. They were my sponsors for many years. And let me just say this in real life, right?
Okay,
We're broken as a country.
that's true.
And until we move toward fixing the brokenness, the struggle will continue. We got to look at it for what it is. And if you got a friend or what they call the people who work with you, they got a new name for it now, co-worker, not no co-worker no more. What they call them, feel smarter than most of them. Huh? Co-worker. If you got somebody, if you're not looking at this saying, oh, wow, then you are a part of the problem. This guy should not be on a ticket for school board, but he won in a state. Anybody know what the percentage of black people in the state of Minnesota?
I have
It's
no
very
idea.
small.
No, I need you to pull that up. Let me tell y'all something about Minnesota. Two things about Minnesota. That's just history, man. You got to know your history, man. You can't grow, man. You can't grow if you don't know. Watch this. Minnesota's the third whitest state in America.
I believe that.
Oh, and it's also the number one state in America for interracial relationships.
Yeah, I knew that.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Oh, guess what? It's second in America for having people from Muslim countries.
I do know that.
Yeah. So if you listen, because this is a guy that played with the flag, the state flag, kind of made it look like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? This is a problem. This guy's a problem. But people going to vote for who they vote for. I'm not trying to discourage nobody to vote. I'm just trying to get people to pay attention, man.
Right.
The game is to be sold and not told. If you are looking at Vice President Harris, go to microphones, and you think what she's saying has been amazing since the summer of 2002, oh, no, you didn't know who she was there.
Yeah.
Then you're a fool. If you think that this woman can sit down with Vladimir Putin and President Xi and all these other people and these mullahs and all these, you know, come on. If you think that she can go sit down with these people, if you think she can go to the G7, huh?
That's not the conversation that the America's
But
having
we have
right
to
now.
have that conversation.
No, they're having a conversation about social issues, abortion,
Huh?
LGBTQ
No,
things.
but guess
they're
what?
not talking about that.
This is a guy who runs the whitest state in America. And all the crime in the state is in a two-city region, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Go look. You could drive 3 hours north, south.
I'll never go back to Minneapolis.
You go drive 3 hours north, south, east of Minneapolis, St. Paul. First of all, I did it. I drove 3 hours and 28 minutes and didn't see a black person. And I called my buddy, Colorado State University in Minnesota. I say, dude, I ain't seen no. Look at this. Has the largest Muslim population. I know, Mike. Okay? Listen, people don't understand. I know y'all think I should be sitting on here drinking this damn alcohol, making stuff up. But let me just say this, right? I drove 3 hours and 30 minutes and didn't even see a black person on the highway. And he said to me, great guy, good friend of mine, said, Don, you ain't going to see no black people till you see this hit the state line. And I was stunned by that. So here's a guy who is a do-gooder, who's a woke white. And I had a shirt last year, got a lot of pushback. What did that shirt say, D'Amica? Beware of
Woke whites.
woke whites.
Did you play? Did you? Did
No,
you?
Did you still wear that?
Speaking, yeah,
Did
you
you-
remember that shirt? Hey,
you play it?
let me tell you about wokeism. You got that clip from me, man? Well, let me just say something, man. I've had people stopping me. Where can I get that shirt? And I had people stopping me like you're an asshole. Okay, it was all the woke whites called me an asshole. Okay, play that clip, man.
Have to stay active, and you know we have to stay woke. Like everybody needs to be woke, and you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke.
Look how they looking at
than
her.
less woke. Yeah.
They like, can we smoke some of that you smoke? They looking at her like, man, why y'all sitting this mother? Oh, this lady over here. The point I make is this, right? When George Floyd happened
Yes.
in Minnesota, this guy was in charge. I came in the studio with D'Amica Page, and I said to D'Amica Page, and I said to Quetta Jean Johnson, and I said to Real Rap Kane, and I said to Robbie, and I said to all my friends who I have these conversations with, white guilt is fleeting. And all of a sudden, every major corporation immediately shifted toward programs, DEI, to bring blacks in because they recognized the wrong they had done.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fleeting. And all of a sudden, we saw this all fall apart. This guy, Tim Walz, Walz rhymes with balls, it's not for America. I'm telling y'all this. People wanted to know, Don, are you going to talk about it on it? Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I would have supported as much as I can because I ain't voting over there. There were 4 or 5 people
But why do you think she selected him?
Because they ain't trying to win. I just told your ass.
I don't know if I understand what that really means.
Because you got to run somebody. You got to run somebody, right?
Yeah.
You got to run somebody. You can't just say we just throw in the towel. You think inheriting this economy, you think that they can fix this economy?
I hear he says it all the time.
Right.
I just think that they want to push the social conversation because that's all they can talk
That's
about.
all you got.
So why would you
You got $500 million to push this nonsense? Why not?
Like we already said, she can't talk about policy. So what can she talk about? She can talk about social issues. So they've already identified that abortion is a big conversation for her. Women's rights, and I say women have the right to close their legs. So,
Damn.
Close your legs and marry men.
Damn.
That's what Nene Leakes said.
I forgot you were a big fan of Nene Leakes.
So if you can't talk about policy, you have to give her a platform that she can talk about. So you put someone on the ticket that can push that conversation. And in my opinion, that's what they've done.
Okay. Well, I just want to say as we wrap up, Phil, I know we ran over. Just give me a few more minutes, man. I'm going to raise the money.
You're going to turn the lights
I'm going to raise the money to get me right. I'm going to raise the money. I'm going to raise the money to get Phil.
You don't have to go home, but you got to get up out of here.
I'm going to raise money. Look, Phil got a date night tomorrow night. He want to go somewhere good. I'm going to raise the money to give Phil the rest of his money. Shout out to Don Miller Show. Put the cash app up. This going directly to Phil because he been flashing the lights. Anyway, real talk. This is very important. So for those who wanted to know my thoughts on Tim Walz, I get a thumbs down, 2 thumbs down. This is horrible. This is not good. But it's 2 thumbs up for the Republican Party. Donald Trump can shut up till November and be all right. The only person could beat Donald Trump right now is
Donald Trump.
That's the point I'm making.
Yes.
To pick this guy, I'm telling you, when who he is at some point gets put out in the media and what he stands for. After 9/11, he re-enlisted in the military. He's a National Guard guy, like re-enlisted in the military. A lot of my military friends see the National Guards as Andy Frayne ushers at the stadium, but that's a whole nother conversation. He re-enlisted after 9/11. Yay. I thought that was great. A lot of people re-enlisted. Shout out to my buddy Robbie, re-enlisted. And, man, just became full colonel. Love you, man. Love you, Rob. And shout out to a lot of the people who re-enlisted after 9/11. And they all stayed. When he found out he was going to be deployed, he was like, oh, hell no, I'm going back. I quit.
I was just playing.
I was just playing, right? So I just want to say to the American people, don't let Don Miller and the Don Miller Show discourage you.
Go read.
Just go read.
The policies.
The policies.
Their record.
I'm not caring what this man, Tim Walz, rhymes with balls. I'm not caring what Tim Walz in his personal life. They ain't got nothing to do with us.
Right.
They ain't got nothing to do with who you vote for. Same with Kamala Harris. We know her history. It's not a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, go look at the policies and what they stand for.
Absolutely.
I think it's important and appreciative that you have that perspective, Don and D'Amica, because it would be very easy to not quite know what you're walking into here tonight. And yet I've worked on your show before, been on your show many times.
Many
and
times.
I know you don't try to put me in a corner, but it's refreshing that you seem so fresh about the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that Trump is the perfect and always the best candidate. He does make mistakes here, here and there.
Right.
But as related to what we see on the other side, I think it should be a little bit frightening to people. And I think it's heartwarming for me to know that you both look at this with such a objective opinion.
So when you talk to the president, I'm sure you will, tell him I say, shout out, and I'm going to vote for him. I'm going to come right on this radio, this podcast. I'm voting for Trump. I ain't going to be one of them dudes that throw the rock and hide my hand. And I'm not voting for Trump because he's a pretty nice guy or he's a sharp guy or I like his personality because I think he needs to shut the hell up most of the time. But I'm voting for policy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you vote for policy, you have one vote.
Yep.
You have one person.
Yep. And if you have any principles, Yep, because you decide what policies are important to you based on principles. And quite frankly, I've told Don this a couple of times. If you're struggling with what policies are going to work for your family, for your business, for the country, it's because you don't have principles. You know, all policies are good policies are grounded in solid principle, period. All that other stuff really doesn't matter. Can I thank the listeners last time who have supported me in my trip to Ghana?
To go find a husband.
Oh, wow, really? What are you talking about?
D'Amica is going to Ghana on a mission trip.
My first
with her
trip
church,
out of the country,
with
Randy.
her church.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's not just church people.
But
And they're not just
but
our
they're all
church.
Jesus people.
Of course.
They're all Jesus.
It's a Jesus mission. What are
She's
you talking about?
She's going to Ghana on the Jesus mission. She put that back up, man. You want to help D'Amica on the mission to work the Lord's work, amazing Lord's work.
You stuttering. You stuttering.
The Lord's work. I said it. Scan that. Anything helps. $1, $2, $3. We appreciate any of it. D'Amica's going on behalf.
I think it's great that she's doing that.
She's going on behalf of Jesus Christ.
Can I tell you why?
We're going to get that. You put it on your page?
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I tell you why, Randy?
Yeah.
Well, we're going over to support a lot of the women in that country who are entrepreneurs. Over here, we would call them entrepreneurs. But they take anything that they have and they try to generate income for their families. And they work really hard with very little. And as an entrepreneur, I want to be a part of supporting them and serving them. I'm most excited about that. That's why the items, these are garments. Most people just take money, but I wanted to feature.
Is that from Ghana?
This right here, this vest, I had it designed. I designed it. I sent it to Ghana.
Hey, do me a favor, Phil. Come turn the camera down so they can see this little outfit.
They handmade it, and these are some of the items
That's
that
cute.
I'm using to help raise money for that trip.
That's
to
a nice
support
little outfit.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
yes,
a nice little outfit. I
yes.
wouldn't wear it, but it's nice.
Wow.
Well, that's because you can't wear a shirt that fits.
Right. The shirt you got
damn,
on.
I told you he was gonna punch me before he left. That's a beautiful outfit. When you walked in here, I was like, damn, that's real nice. So that was made in Ghana.
This was handmade in
Ghana.
Yes.
Wow. So
Yes.
D'Amica's going to Ghana.
Because we can get some for you.
No,
because
no.
Them buttons is standing in the gap for you right now.
Do they make stretch material in Ghana? I want some Ghana stretch material.
It doesn't need to stretch. It just need to fit.
Don't hate the player. The game is terrible.
No,
okay.
Them buttons is hating the player.
I'm just logging.
I think I need something. I look fat in this thing right here on this TV.
I
thing.
want my relationship with God to be as strong as this little button right here. My relationship with Jesus Christ is strong as this button right here, then I'm going to be in heaven. All I need is my relationship with Jesus Christ to be strong as this third button. I'm going to be all right. We are marching up to Zion. What a beautiful city of God. Hey, listen, everybody, thank you so much. Listen, follow our friend. He's a part of the show. He's been a part of the show. Randy Ross, how can they follow you?
Randy Ross Orlando on all platforms.
Randy Ross Orlando. He's running for state committeeman. He's my friend. I support him. If you're listening or watching in Central Florida, you got to go vote for this dude. He's about as solid as I've ever met. He's my good friend. Now, he owed me a beer from 4 years ago.
I do.
Okay, so give me my beer, man. Again, D'Amica, how can they follow you?
D'Amica.page or just D'Amica page on all platforms.
On all platforms. They can follow me, Black Ass. Sorry. How can they follow you, Phil?
Just Google Podcast Doctor.
Podcast Doctor. Y'all can follow Black Ass Don Miller at The Don Miller Show.
Oh, did it really say that?
No. That would be cool. That would be cool. Follow The Don Miller Show on all platforms. Facebook, Don Miller Show. We thank you so much. Follow me on Twitter. I need people to be on X. Follow me over there. You on X?
I am. I don't use it a lot.
Yeah, I've been using X a lot. Man, I get a lot of information on X. X kicked me up at night. Shout out to Quetta Jean Johnson from the Johnson Family Ridiculous Behavior. Bought me a brush to stop my face from shining like new money. Thank you so much, everybody. We'll be back next Thursday live.
Never wear that shirt
Thursday
again.
at never wear this shirt again. I'm gonna get this shirt to a smaller person. Maybe you like nice white shirts. I'm gonna put it in the cleaners.
Randy.
I'm gonna put it in the cleaners. Give it to Randy Ross. But for everybody who have followed us, we love you so much. Feel free to continue to subscribe and like. Tell everybody to find us right here on the Don Miller Show on YouTube, Facebook, The Don Miller Show. We love you. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, start the Buick up. I'm on my way.